We went to go visit Rainbow Springs State Park near Ocala, Florida, on a friend's recommendation. And oh my gosh, we were so pleasantly surprised. This is such a beautiful hidden gem that we had no idea about. I'm so glad that we decided to come over and check it out. This state park actually started as a rock phosphate mining area, and they found some phosphate here, and that was used back in the agricultural time. And so the phosphate brought tons of miners to the area, which helped the community because during this time they had a horrible winter in Florida, and it killed all the citrus trees, so they weren't able to make any money on the oranges. So they were able to make money off this phosphate for agriculture by mining it. Well, after they got through mining the whole area, they were dug these pits out, like you can see right here. They just dug the pits out, and this created all these huge chunks of hills where they would put the soil. And so in the 1960s, these developers found this land with all these pits and holes and hills. So they decided to develop this into this beautiful tropical oasis to bring some tourism to Florida. And so they created these waterfalls. This is all man-made, where they created these beautiful waterfalls, brought in all these ferns and tropical plants, and they created all these sidewalks, and it's just absolutely stunning, and it is absolutely serene and calming, and it's just beautiful. And there's, on like the left side of the park, is all these beautiful waterfalls everywhere, and these tropical trees and sounds. It's just absolutely gorgeous. And then on the opposite side of the park is the natural springs, which is, it's like two different parks almost. It's absolutely beautiful. But you can see how they put all of these sidewalks in here. Also, one thing that they did is to increase tourism is they made this little baby zoo. You can see how tiny it is. But these were the cages where they kept some animals for tourism to bring more people in. But it was developed really nicely. It was beautiful. However, through years after, these are banana spiders. They're so freaky. I had to get them on video. But after Disney World came into Orlando, Florida, around the Orlando area in Kissimmee, all the tourism went there, right? So they were losing a lot of money. So they let the park go. They just gave it up. And it sat there for years, dilapidated, and just the forest took over everything. The land took their park back, right? Their land back. And it just kind of overgrown. And so the state ended up getting it. And when that happened, they asked if any volunteers wanted to come and help clean this gorgeous park up. You can see the natural springs. It's beautiful. And so they got a lot of people together that wanted to help bring this beauty back to life. And it took them some years. And there's a beautiful area up front with all these bricks with people's names on them who helped volunteer and wanted to buy a brick. But they really brought it back to life. It's really just so stunning. And they're very protective of these natural springs. Like, whatever you take with you, you have to bring back and watch, where you walk. They don't want you to touch really any of the greenery. When you're in the springs, there's only certain places where you can get out. Like if you're on the kayak, you cannot get off the kayak except for one area. So they're very, very protective of this beautiful resource that they have here, because it's just gorgeous. And So there's this really cool area that they have turned into like a swimming hole. However, we were going to go swimming, and they said the temperature is 68 degrees year round in this natural spring. But holy moly, I thought 68 degrees would feel amazing. I was ready to get in the water and enjoy myself. But it was cold. That water's so cold. So we ended up, you can see there's people in there. There's some kids. No, kids don't care. But we decided to go check out the kayak area. They have a couple of different options in this area where you can either rent kayaks, or you can go further up the road and rent tubes to go tubing down the river. And we already have plans for the next day or so to go tubing. So we have decided to rent a kayak. Now the kayak rentals offer a clear bottom kayak where you can see through it, but it's one per person, and we decided to get the 2-person kayak because, you know, we always love to be around each other. And so this was, I believe, $20 an hour, and you pay when you get back. So however long you want to spend on the water, you just pay whenever you get back. So you can explore the whole entire area. It's just absolutely gorgeous. So the blue areas that you see as we're going down the river are where the natural springs are coming up through the earth. And then you can see how clear, amazingly clear the water is. You can see right to the bottom. This was just an amazing find for us. We loved it. It was so peaceful and so serene. Look how clear this water is. Wow. And right in this area, we can see it's all blue. There's one certain area that you can jump off the kayak and go swimming in. But I was like, no, thank you. It was cold. Look at how gorgeous. This is such a beautiful water. What a beautiful gem of a find that we found thanks to a friend near Ocala, Florida. Isn't this stunning? Well, I hope that you guys, if you already know about it, let me know. And if you want to check it out, please do. It's absolutely gorgeous. It was, I think the charge was to get in was $2 a vehicle. And then like $20 an hour if you wanted a duo kayak. A single kayak was, I think, $16 an hour. And then they have tubing up the road, and they had pavilions like all along the road part of the park, where you could have lunch. And they had like a cafeteria, and not a cafeteria, more like a restaurant. It was just such a beautiful experience. I'm so glad that we found this out. This is oh gosh, gorgeous. Rainbow Springs State Park near Morriston, Florida. And here's our little squirrel, our little friend who wanted to come have lunch with us while we were dining and enjoying this magnificent scenery. Well, guys, I hope that you enjoyed it. And me and Mike, we are explorers in motion.